Hello class, welcome to a Room 222 Photoshop tutorial. Today's project is the magazine cover. And for this project I'm going to start you off, but I'm not going to actually finish it because you're going to get the idea of what it is that I'm expecting, and I'm going to show you the end product of what it is that I want to see. So we're going to be taking a photo of some sort of celebrity or some sort of subject, and you're going to fashion a magazine cover around them. And the topics of the articles are going to relate to whoever it is that's on the cover. So Emma Watson is going to be playing Belle, I believe it's this spring, in Beauty and the Beast. So I decided to find a picture of her dressed as Belle and then do a magazine cover based on Beauty and the Beast and Emma Watson as Belle. So as you can see, I did a magazine title named Inside Entertainment, which is based off of, I think it's Entertainment Inside. Maybe it is Inside Entertainment. I don't know. I came up with some questions or some article titles that I think would catch people's eye and be similar to the style of magazine that I'm trying to show. So it's supposed to be like a gossipy, celebrity style, inside look of Beauty and the Beast and Emma Watson herself. So, like, what secrets is the Beast hiding? Beauty tips from the professionals. How to get Belle's look. Tips and tricks on how to find your Prince Charming. And then, like, Emma Watson is a boss. So, because Emma Watson is the cover of my magazine, like, who I want to bring attention to. And then, as you can see, I have a general color theme. So it's purples, white, black, and then I have a little bit of this like yellow going on, though it's not really in any of my font. But the font that I do have that's a little different than everything is Roses Anyone, and it's just so that that way it kind of brings about like the Bachelor or Bachelorette idea, and roses are obviously usually red. So I made that red just to kind of give it a little pop. You can also see on this cover that I included a date. So it's the March 2017 edition of this magazine. You can also include a publisher number if you want. And then something that I didn't include on here, but you are more than welcome to, is a barcode. It makes it look even more real. You will be expected to have at least 8 things on your cover, and that includes the magazine name, article titles, who is represented on the cover, the either date or the publisher number, and then if you want to include the barcode, that can count towards that as well. Something else that I want to point out is that for the most part I kept the same font style, just a couple of things I changed to kind of make it pop. And then there are certain parts of the article titles that I made larger than others. So, beauty tips, that's important information. Belle's look, Prince Charming, the Beast, those are all important things that are going to bring somebody's eye to them and make they want to flip the page. Simple words like on how to, have a, from the. People don't care about those words, so they should be smaller. And that's what you should do as well whenever you create your own. So let's start, and then you can get going on your own. So my picture is actually horizontal to begin with. I could not find a very good one of her vertical. So what I'm going to have to do is crop it down to make it seem vertical. And unfortunately with this image, it's going to make the image a lot smaller as well. If you could find a rather large image that's vertical, that is better to use. So I'm going to crop it down with either the crop tool, or you're going to click C on your keyboard. And we're going to bring it down until it looks pretty vertical. And then you're going to press enter or the check sign up top. And now we have a it looks more like a box, but it's better than horizontal picture. I'm going to start off with a gradient. So to do that, you're going to go down to your adjustment layers. And you're going to click on this circle down here. And we're going to select gradient. I want you to apply a gradient to your magazine cover. If you would happen to do this for another project, you don't necessarily need to have a gradient, but for my project I would like you to include one. So you're going to click on the gradient, and you're going to select the gradient options. And you're going to select the purple and the orange. So now your colors might be not purple and orange, and that's okay, but that is the style of the gradient that I'm looking for. So you're going to click on the violet and the orange, and then you're just going to say okay. That's all we need for right now. So now if you go over to the blending modes and you click on dissolve, you can then, because that highlights it, you can then use the arrow keys. You can then use the arrow keys to go through these, and you can see how it adjusts your picture, which some of these are really nice looking. You can go down through those. I'm not going to go through them all because I know what I'm going to click, which is screen for your, or at least for one of them. For the your second one, you do not have to use screen if you don't want to. You don't have to use this gradient style if you don't want to. But for at least your first cover, I would like these things to happen. So with this screen, you can see it brings out the light at the top and the dark at the bottom. Now if we double click on it, it's going to open up the gradient option again. I'm going to click and I'm going to blend them, or I'm going to change the coloring just a tad so that it kind of matches what I want. So I want more of a yellow. So if you click on the color stop and then click on the color, and I'm just going to move this to more of a yellow or a golden yellow, which I like. Also though, if you move your little color down, it takes it away some. So it's just more of a hue. So I'm going to go to here, and then I'm going to go to my purple, and I'm going to bring more of a purple out, because that's what I'm looking for this. And then I'm going to click OK. If you look over here on your gradient styles, you can make it, so I have to click over OK here. You can do a radial, you could do a reflected, an angle, diamond, all sorts of things. And then you could change the angle from here if you wanted to, which I'm not going to. And then you could even reverse it. There's lots of options that you can pick from. So I'm going to click OK. So now I have the basis for, or the background basically, for my magazine cover. I'm going to start now with the title. I would like your title to be original. You can take something that is, so like ESPN, GQ, something along those lines, Teen Vogue, but I would like it to be your own spin-off. So please don't completely copy something else. So I'm going to go with the Inside Entertainment. And again, the bigger your picture is, the easier it's going to be to put all these things on it. Mine is just small because of the way that it is cropped, and that's just something I have to deal with. If you use Control T, it'll allow you to transform it, and I'm going to fix it so it'll go inside my picture. Make sure everything is spelled correctly. Remember, Photoshop does not have spell check. Also, whenever you're looking at the dimensions, make sure that none of the font touches the outside edge of your picture. That just looks very bad, and that's what we don't want to do. So now I have my Inside Entertainment. I want to hide some of this NTERTAI part. So to do that, I'm going to apply a mask. So go down to the masking tool, and I'm going to go to the brush tool and make sure that my colors are black and white. So right now they're opposite of what I want. So I'm going to click X, and the black is going to go forward. And so now when I open this up, if I color over this, it hides the entertainment, or the font, which is really nice. If I wanted to bring the font back, I just click X to bring the white into the foreground, and I'd go over it, and then it brings back the font. So what I'm going to do is make this a little bit larger. I'm going to hide the font, and then I'm going to bring it forth where the crown is, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so now you see how you have this crown here, and there should be spots where the font is still showing because it's showing the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back through it, and I'm just going to come back through here, and it's basically just bringing forth the color, and I'm just clicking. I don't exactly know where any of this font is, but it will appear if there is some if I click. And so now some of the some of the font shows up in between the crown, which is exactly what I want. Something else that you can do with this title to make it pop is if you double click on the layer, it'll bring up the layer style options. And there's lots of things you could do. You could bevel it, you could emboss it, you could add a stroke, an inner shadow, all sorts of things to make this kind of pop and make people want to buy it. So what I'm going to do is a drop shadow. So that's what I'm going to do. You do not have to do this. And again, if you want to change what it looks like, you click on it, and then you can change the opacity, you can change the angle, you can change the noise, you can change the color even if you wanted to. You can do all of those things. So I'm just going to say OK, and now people are looking at this Inside Entertainment image. Next, I'm going to apply one of the title options, just so you can see that information. So I'm going to go back to my type tool, and we're going to do how to, to get Belle's look. I would make the words on separate layers because that will help you. So for instance, how to get needs to be smaller than Belle's look because how to get is not very important. Belle's look is what is important and is going to sell your magazine. So I'm going to select the how to get, and I'm going to do Control T and make these smaller. And then I'm going to click enter. And I might adjust this later on, but that's what I'm going to do for right now. Then I'm going to go back to Belle's look, and I'm going to make it smaller so it fits, but they're still going to stand out. So now we have how to get Belle's look, and Belle's look is bigger so it causes more attention. Something else that you can add on your titles is a page number. So I'm going to do page 47, enter. And again, this is not important information really. It's not going to sell the magazine, so you want to make this smaller as well. Just put that right underneath. Make sure again that the numbers or the letters do not touch the outer edge, and I'm going to move how to get over so it kind of Alright, to make Belle's look even more appealing, you can double click on that layer, and then we could add, don't add a pattern, but you could add like a satin, so it kind of makes it a little look nice, an inner glow, ooh, don't do that. The leveling looks not too bad, and then you can kind of smooth it out, soften it a little bit, just so there's a little bit of an added touch to it that's going to make people want to buy this. So we're going to click OK. Now for instance, say I wanted to end up moving these to somewhere else on the picture, and I don't want to take each one and do it. If I click on these and hold down Control, I then can right click and link layers. So with that, it links the layers. So now if I would do Control T, it highlights all of them, which is fantastic. And now I can move them all around the screen without having to move each layer individually. which helps so much. And really this, so if you click away from those layers, the link thing goes away, but if you select them again, it automatically shows up, which is really nice. So I'm going to bring back up this again, because I have given you everything that you need to create this magazine cover. So again, just to recap, I want a magazine title. I want either the date or the publishing number. I need a variety of article titles, and I need a title that represents the person that is the subject of your magazine cover. Please make sure that you make different font sizes, that you add those layer styles to them, and that you keep a consistent color scheme, because that is important. You may also include a barcode as well. If you have any questions, let me know. You will be required to do 2 of these. Two different subjects, so as in like Emma Watson and Blake Lively, Hugh Jackman and Ryan Gosling. So I need 2 different subjects, and then I need 2 different topics of magazines. So one could be on hunting and fishing, and the other one could be on NBA basketball. Anything like that. But one could be on Disney and one could be on Harry Potter. But I need 2 different topics and 2 different subjects. And that is what you are going to turn into me. And remember, your first magazine cover must have a similar gradient, as in the gradient that we picked, which was the orange and the violet. And you must include screen, the screen blending option. The other one, you can be a little bit more creative on it, and that is fine. Alright, if you have any questions, please raise your hand. Off you go.